Okay.
Hello everyone.
是直接进来的，好像。
So we have already started our webinar. Hello everyone. So I have already seen the audience have already joined us.
记得看一下你的微信。
So we will get started at 6.5. Hi sir, I missed you, Barge. Hello. Hi sir, you are muted.
Hi, State. How are you?
Yeah, hi, pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for asking.
So I will be the host today.
Ah, wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
So is
there any
well
any specific
Hello,
anything
Santa.
specific you want to guide us?
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Santa.
Hi everyone. Hi, Jurai. How is it
Hello,
going?
Mr. Santa.
So we will get started like 10 minutes later.
10 minutes later. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So we can mute now?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll mute now. Yeah. We'll join in 10 minutes.
So is everything going well in your country? Like in India, is everything going well?
Yeah, it's going wonderful now, as of now. Yeah.
Yes.
The COVID is under control. And
Jurai, where you are based?
I am based in Hyderabad.
Sorry?
Hyderabad. It's in the southern part of India. It's near Bangalore. If you have heard of Bangalore, it's near Bangalore.
No, I've never been there. I know very well Mumbai and Ahmedabad.
Okay. So it's in the center of, if I have to explain you geographically, it's in the center. It's in the center parallel to Mumbai.
All right. Okay. I'll look one day to meet you in India, or maybe you can come in Italy.
Sure.
I'm
Why
from Mini.
Hello, 你好. Oh, sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Global Packaging Media Alliance. Now you're looking for. Oh, hi, sir. I've seen your message. Hi, good afternoon. It's getting more and more audience. If you have any questions, maybe you can type your message on the chat box so we can check. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So maybe we're in different time zone, so it's different. Yeah. So we'll be get started 5 minutes later. You're welcome. Welcome to Global and Packaging Media Alliance. Oh, hi Dave. I saw your message. Welcome. We will be started just 2 or 3 minutes later. Thank you, actually. So since we have we have 2 minutes. 2 minutes later, so maybe everyone, we can open your camera. Let's open the camera. So just 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Reward.
My pleasure.
Okay, so everyone, so since I saw most of you have already opened the camera, so now let's get started. So everyone, attention. So hello everyone, welcome to participate in Packaging Big News broadcasting organized by GPMA. So the GPMA is called Global Packaging Media Alliance, so owned by Reed Exhibition. So my name is Tate, I'm the host of today's webinar. We are pleased to invite our 4 excellent speakers from China, India, Italy, and Indonesia to share with us featured news from their local packaging and printing market. Hope everyone here will enjoy and be benefited by following insights and comments as well. So firstly, let's have the representative of GPMA. So Patrick from Reed Exhibitions to address the welcome speech. Let's welcome Patrick.
Thanks, Tate. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So please let me open my PPT firstly. Can you see my screen? Okay. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Patrick from Reed Exhibitions, the owner and the founder of the GPMA. And first of all, I'm so proud of that we can have this kind of the online gathering to welcome all the distinguished clients, exhibitors, media partners, association professionals here together to review all the feature news happen in our packaging and the printing industry. And actually, before we officially start our sharing from the 4 featured speakers, I would like to take several minutes to share with you what is the Reed Exhibitions as well as what is the GPMA, Global Packaging Media Alliance. And before I start the introduction of the GPMA, first of all, I would like to let you know what is the Reed Exhibitions. And the RX is the abbreviation of the Reed Exhibitions. And we have more than 400 events in our RX portfolio. And we serve 14 industry sectors in different 22 countries. And between these 14 industries, the most important role for us to play is from our packaging and printing. And always we call this converting. So this is what RX converting business is doing now. And you can, according to the RX Global Converting Business Map, you can see all the footprints that we cover all the world. And probably most of you are so familiar with the sino-corrugated exhibitions and the sino-folding carton exhibitions we organize in China. And besides that, we also have a different kind of show focus and emphasis on the upstream to the downstream of the packaging and the printing industry. And you can see that our footprint is covered every corners of the world. And because we start our business since the 2000, and after over 20 years collection, and we have a high reputation. So this is the resources we have, and this is our advantage we have. You can see that we have over 115,000 industry contests to reach the industry qualified buyers. And we have over 250 industry associations jointly organizing the activities with us. And we have a 26 IC group for us to help the show team to promote the show as well as other events. And okay, this is what is the GPMA. So all the resources, all the channels we combine with our ambition to establish the GPMA. It's a global packaging media alliance. And it's a very super professional media consortium for information exchange and resource sharing. The alliance consists of the international media partners within the corrugating, printing, and packaging industry. So GPMA will focus on all aspects of the related industry, including but not limited to the qualified services, the advanced technologies, leading products, latest industry news, academic knowledge, innovative ideas, as well as the business opportunities. So far, we have already reached over 115 packaging printing related media worldwide and established a primary partnership with more than 100. And 30 plus of them has joined the GPMA. So in the right part, you can see some media clipping reference for all the media partners provide to us. And why all the leading media partners are willing to join us? Because we advocate these 5 core values to our partners. I is for income, because we will help our media partners to increase the possible advertisement income. N and S is for the networking and sharing, because we always jointly organize with the media partners to do some offline and online events. And the E is obviously that we will also assist our media partners in their branding exposure. And most important is that we also reserve the research fund for some media partners who have interest to do some market research with us, because most of you are the professionals in your own domestic market. You are so familiar with the feature knowledge, the latest news about your market. So we are so welcome that if you have any potential ideas to discuss with us about this part. And last but not the least, I would like to welcome 2 new GPMA members, especially from China. And first, I will introduce Shanghai Yingzhou Culture Media. So let's welcome the chief editor, Mrs. Qin from Shanghai Yingzhou Culture Media, to give some greetings. Hello, Mrs. Qin. Can you hear me? Can you open your...
Hi. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Ready.
Okay. It's a great honor for us to be a member of GPMA. Thanks, reader exhibitions. I think this is the greatest encouragement for us. I hope I also hope to cooperate happily with the reader exhibition in the future. Thanks.
Okay, appreciate. Okay, the second one is also from our China. It's Shanghai Longhun Culture Media. So let's welcome the representative from Shanghai Longhun Culture Media, Mrs. Wang.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mrs. Wang. Yeah, can you give us some greetings?
Hello, everyone. I'm Nini from Longhun Media. I'm honored to represent our company to join GPMA. After joining GPMA, we will use our media channels to fully show the outstanding domestic corrugated packaging companies and equipment suppliers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Wang. Okay, that's all I would like sharing. And before I finish my PPT, so I would like to also do some advertisements for myself as well. So if all you guys before the screen have the interest and any potential ideas want to discuss with us, please contact with kerry.sun@iglobal.com. Okay, hi Tay, I will finish my PPT, so please hand over to your side.
Okay, so thank you. What a great speech from Patrick. So we are looking forward more more attendees, more members from GPMA. So now I will invite the first speaker. Her name is called Mrs. Jing. So she is the chief editor of Shanghai Insult Cultural Media Company. So her topic will be top 10 news of China Printing and Packaging Network in the first quarter. So Mrs. Jing? Yes, okay, you're muted. Maybe you can.
Okay.
Yes, okay, let's begin your speeches.
Wait a moment.
Okay, take your time.
Good evening, everyone.
Sorry, Mrs. Jing. Yeah. Now I see your screen. Yeah. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. It's my pleasure to meet you here, to everybody, and thanks for Read Exhibition's invitation. I'm Nini from China Printing and Packaging 114 Network. And this is my first time to attend the English speech, so please forgive me my poor English. Thanks. This is my self-introduction. I have been engaged in editing for 13 years. Our main work is to collect and write industry articles every day, include forward some industry news, and hope to generate more value through information. Today, my topic is my speech, top 10 news of the first quarter of China Printing and Packaging Network. I will show some screenshots of news highlights and make some instructions to analyze the focus of China's printing and packaging industry. Now, let's start this lecture. Through this screenshot on the left, you can see our daily ranking list every day. It reasons the focus of daily news on our website, cpp.com, 114.com, and the ranking is based on the popularity and haste. Every day, our website and app will release near 100 industry news, including company news, exhibitions, new product launch, technological articles, interviews, and so on. From the head of the article, we can see the reader's interest and the concerns, which we can also predict the development trend of the industry. For example, through the ranking of the popular articles in these screenshots, we can see that these news have a high number of hits, such as import and export, green packaging, industry activities, e-commerce, and so on. From this picture, we can always find out this key information. Just like this, 1, green environment protection will be the development direction of packaging industry. 2, environment protection and packaging materials are considered by e-commerce. 3, the printing of books shows an upward trend. 4, packaging printing is developing fast. 5, import and export remain restricted. Okay, this picture shows our monthly ranking. From here, we can see the continuous attention of readers to news. Generally speaking, the topic that is easy to cause extensive discussion in the industry will receive high continuous attention. For example, JOPA, Real Exhibition, and other international industry exhibitions, as well as some news events, such as bankruptcy, native policy interpretation, new technology, and so on. Okay. Look at this data. By the end of the 13th five-year plan, China's printing industry had development into a whole industry with nearly 100,000 printing enterprises above the designated size. Among them, packaging printing and the new printing maintained rapid development, and the foreign processing trade volume of the printing industry increased steadily and continued to expand. This is a graph from Printing Industry Association of China. According to this data provided, we can see that the latest market research report released by Smithers, the sales revenue of the global printing market will reach $781.5 billion in 2022. Due to the serious impact of COVID-19 on the global printing market, the scale is still lower than the level before the outbreak of COVID-19 in 2019. It is estimated that the global sales of new printing equipment will reach a new high of $16.01 billion in 2022. Judged from the industry news events in the first quarter of 2022, China's printing and packaging industry is currently facing great challenges. It is mainly reflected in the following insights. Okay. 1. Affected by the market environment, the development of printing industry is not clear. Orders have decreased sharply, and the investment development is also limited. 2. Industry exhibitions and online training activities like this are still very concerned, and the enterprises need to update their ideas and methods to breakthrough. 3. At present, the development speed of packaging and printing is fastest. Digital printing and business printing are relatively flat. The printing of books has picked up to a certain extent. 4. Green printing and packaging will be the main trend of industry development. In addition to environment-friendly packaging, enterprises also put forward higher requirements for the printability of recycled substrates and the sustainable production of inks, substrates, and servers will also in new development. 5. COVID-19 has pushed the digital technology, internet technology, information technology, automation technology, and intelligent technology to China's printing industry. Although the beginning of 2022 is not very smooth, but many printing enterprise forces are still very positive. They are still full of confidence, which is more important than good. On the whole, China's printing and packaging industry will show the following development trends in the future. 1. It is estimated that the total output value of China's printing industry will exceed 1.4 trillion yuan at the end of 2025. 2. The structure optimization and upgrading of China's printing industry will develop in the 4 directions of green, digital, intelligent, and integrated. 3. Affected by the COVID-19 in the first quarter, printing enterprises were struggling, and it is expected to pick up in the second half of 2022. This year, for many traditional printing equipment manufacturers are adding more automation functions to their equipment, providing online postpress, processor, and inject printing units. We call it combined printing. 5. COVID-19 has changed the customer's behavior, and the substitution effect of electronic products on paper products is accelerating, resulting in stagnation or atrophy of publications, printing, and commercial printing market, and express packaging is also developing towards environmentally friendly packaging. Although the road is endless and far away, we still want to pursue the truth in the world. Okay, this is all of my speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Ching. Very appreciate that. So we can know a lot of data from your speech. And thank you. Maybe you can stop your sharing. And also now from our audience, we have like several questions we need to ask you. So the question 1 will be, with the rapid development of e-commerce business, especially in China, so what kind of new technology will be widely used in the related packaging sectors?
Okay. We know many local governments and regulators are promoting green express packaging. Therefore, in the future, e-commerce packaging will prefer to use green degradable packaging materials and recyclable packaging boxes. The packaging will also be more and more concise to avoid secondary packaging. And logistics and express company will also develop in those aspects. 1, improve the handover efficiency, such as using RFID. 2, recycling, reduce the cost of consumables. 3, storage capacity will use more automatic packaging, and so on.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So the question 2 is, as a leading media and industry professional in printing market, how do you comment on the digital printing development in the packaging industry?
A few years ago, just 2 or 3 years, we could only perceive the term of digital personalized customization from some wine box or red wine box packaging. But now this application has covered the packaging fields of another fields, just like food, gifts, cosmetics, and so on. So from the perspective of future development, paper packaging is the largest branch of the packaging industry. So digital packaging can be expected in the future in a wide development. Okay.
Okay, I got it. I got you. So yeah, the digital printing will play a very important role in the future. Yeah, yes. I totally agree with you. So thank you, Mrs. Ching.
Thank you.
Okay, so maybe you can stop your sharing. So it's a yeah, thank you. So thank you for Mrs. Ching's speech. So now I will invite the second speaker. So his name is Mr. Yuvarj. So he is the editor of Packaging World Insights from India. His topic will be embracing the sustainable packaging movement. So welcome, Mr. Yuvarj.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would firstly like to invite you all for putting up such a nice show. And it's very informative what my colleague has just spoken about the packaging industry. I will just share my screen and give some information on sustainable packaging. because packaging has always been a very kind of helpful, but at the same time, it has always been very disturbing to the environment, right? So sustainable packaging, what we believe is the future. My presentation is on that. Just I'll share my screen.
Yes, can you see the button to share the screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So let's start with the defining about what is important in terms of packaging and sustainable packaging. I would just go to the second screen here. Okay, as we see that approximately 8.3 billion tons of plastics have been produced till now from 1950. It's a lot of waste which we are producing along with the packaging industry. What happens is all these waste creates a good hazard for the environment. Now, there has been 23 million tons of waste which has been produced by European Union alone. And that is going to be fourfold by 2050, wherein we are expected to touch 100 million tons of waste which will be produced every year, with the worldwide figure of 1,124 million. Now, all these waste which is going into the environment is very dangerous. Specifically, it has been observed that by 2050, there will be more waste in the sea than that of the fishes by weight, if you go by the weight. So the question is, how do we deal with this scenario? How do we deal with such a scenario? Now, when we have conducted a small survey, firstly, we wanted to understand what do audience want? What do audience understand by the word sustainable packaging? So 64% of the people wanted recyclable packaging material, wherein there is also a huge demand of reusable packaging solutions. 46% of them desired for compostable packaging solutions. So all these are the figures which we have derived out of the survey, which states that there is a huge demand, more than the demand, there is a huge wish list in the audience of using sustainable packaging now. And because of the COVID, everyone has now realized the importance of environment, how environment is affected by the mankind. When we saw that there was no traffic in the road, there was such a wonderful wildlife coming on the roads of various countries in the world, right? So there is a way wherein the world or the earth recycles itself. But as a human being, as a humankind, what contribution we can put in terms of putting up less hazards in the environment? And this is what is the chart says, that there are various people who are interested in doing something for the environment, and that's what they are putting up their cuts. They are putting up their cuts on the use of plastic. They are putting up their cuts on the use of materials which are dangerous to the society, and kind of contributing in one way or the other. Now, when we talk about sustainable packaging, there could be many things which could revolve around sustainable packaging. Few of the points which we believe are very important and which could be playing a bigger role in sustainable packaging is: one is biodegradable packaging, second is recyclable packaging, third, and very interestingly and very innovative, is edible packaging. Fourth is nanotechnology in packaging, which will play a great role, and atmospheric packaging. Now, I'll explain all these terms one by one in our slides with an example of what are the various innovations happening across the globe. So if you see, these are the various innovations which are taking place by the startups, by the companies. There is a company based out of Bulgaria, which is into corn-based foil packaging. So they make packaging foils out of the corn use of the corn and cornstarch. And then we have seaweed packaging. There's a company which is coming up and which is producing packaging material out of the use of seaweeds. Now, similarly, there are more companies. Now, there is a new technology coming up, which is making raw materials out of the waste, right? So packaging wherein the packaging material are coming out of the waste. This is also a very good development, which is also taking place in the construction industry, where a lot of countries are trying to make their infrastructure like roadways out of the waste materials. Similarly, there is monomaterial packaging, wherein very lucrative and very innovative methods are being used by the various companies across the world. Now, there is something called atmospheric packaging, edible packaging. So edible cutlery is one such thing. I'm sure you all will enjoy, kind of your food, but how about if you can eat your same spoon as a dessert, from which you was eating your food? So that's also very lucrative and very new, innovative method of packaging and bringing innovation to packaging. So similarly, there are eatable cutleries and eatable packaging materials. Then we have the ink. There is invisible ink. There are companies in Canada which are making invisible ink, which is very good in terms of for the pharmaceutical companies, wherein there is very less impact of the pressure on it. So let's say we saw now there are various pharmaceutical companies requiring various temperatures driven logistic solutions. So there is this invisible ink packaging coming up very handy over there. Now there is cellular-based material which can, be reusable and also can generate atmospheric right temperature for the food inside. Then you have active packaging films and containers, and then you have compostable active packaging for fishes. So this compostable active packaging, what it does is that it maintains the right oxygen parameter in the food. Now, whenever we speak about food packaging, it is always about longevity. What we speak about, it is always about the time frame of food preservation, which is very important. One aspect. So therein there is innovation in packaging, wherein gradually the packaging material itself can identify the kind of food or the quality of the food inside, and can produce various elements like oxygen in a suitable ratio to preserve that food inside for a longer time. So that is one very interesting thing which we have come to know from this Impactful Health R&D. This is again a health R&D company which is also doing research on providing right food to the audience. And then let's speak about the future of sustainable packaging. Now, as per the growth index of 5%, we are expected to reach the mark of 348 to 349 billion by 2026 from 278 billion presently in 2019. Now, this is a very interesting market to work in, specifically for the innovative companies, specifically for the companies which want to give an edge to the customers, the companies which want to give an add-on to the customer, just not a packaging material wherein you unwrap it and you throw that material out in the bin. But how do the material can be reused? How do the material can add up and add on value to your whole delivery system? That is something which is picking up hugely into the minds of every new innovator who is entering into the packaging industry these days. Now, there is single-use plastic, there is bottled water, there is containers, there is hand sanitizers, there is personal PPE kits. All these uses have gone up drastically in past 2 years because of the COVID. While we were under the impact of COVID, the overall consumption of the industry has gone down because of the logistics being hampered. But then in another way, these single-use plastic materials uses have gone drastically high, and that is what has been come up in a survey which is being conducted, and which is again a disturbing point, but that is what it is. And we have to see how do we control this particular usage of plastic, single-use plastic materials specifically in the market. Now, there are a few bad points which has come up because of the COVID or because of this single use, but there is another, the good side of it is that post-COVID, every company as a social responsibility is thinking and having and putting a deep thought in terms of innovating their supply chain, innovating their packaging style, and trying to, think what the customer demanded from a so longer period of sustainable packaging solutions which can prevent the customers, the environment, as well as the whole supply chain, as well as the environment on a larger scale. So I believe there is a huge scope of packaging solutions, as we seen from the survey, that from 2019 to 2026 is going to drastically increase. And there is again, by 2050, we are expected, by 2030, we are expected to hit a global supply chain market, which will have not only sustainable supply chain, but advanced sustainable supply chain. So that is what we want to conclude with. I will welcome any questions if there are any.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Yubarj. So as our one of our audience, Eric says, he says it seems India embraced the concept of a sustainable packaging much earlier than most of the Asian countries. So I would say it's like a foresight. So yeah, also, and the audience have some questions. The question will be: the sustainable packaging is expected to become the inevitable trend in the future. It must weed out some outmoded technologies and the traditional packaging companies. So in this case, how could they involve or update themselves in order to finish the business transformation and the tech upgrading to comply with the latest trends? So maybe you can list one or two examples.
Very nice question, Ted. Firstly, when it comes about any kind of evolution in the market, we have always noticed that innovators have played a very good leading role, leading from the front. Innovation is the key to all the answers when it comes to modifying or having a change in the society. And so is the case with the businesses. Now, when we talk about traditional companies, yes, there are various traditional companies and they will have to implement a lot of changes in their production line, specifically with the material. But what we believe is that all the things boil down to the interest and the willingness to change. Now, just give you an example. There was a big company called BlackBerry in the telecommunication industry, which used to manufacture handsets. Now, when the smartphone industry comes in the telecom industry, BlackBerry was such a company which had all its cards right in place. It was a very good company in terms of its data center and in terms of its headsets, but they lacked the willingness to change and to adopt the smart mobile revolution. So I believe the willingness is the key over here. Along with the willingness, the big companies which are already there, I believe they have to enter into a kind of a partnership with the innovations. What happens in such like in the pharmaceutical sector, if you see, the pharmaceutical sector, continuously keep investing in research and development, right? And the bigger pharmaceutical companies are those which have got good results out of the research and development, and that's how they have evolved. So same thing should be there in the packaging industry, that the research and development should not stop in. The company should always think that the packaging material should not be one such thing which is just to deliver the product inside the box. It has to be economically sustainable, it has to be environmentally sustainable, as well as it has to be an add-on benefit to the user. So the day it becomes an add-on benefit to the user won't mind even spending some extra bucks and getting the products right in his place.
I got it. That's a really new, like a new aspect. Yes, from this area. Yeah, I'm not like reaching this area before. So that's a really new aspect. Thank you, Mr. Yuvarj. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So maybe you can stop your sharing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So now, Mr. Yuvarj, can you see the button at the bottom?
Yeah, it's stopped.
Yeah.
It's stopped. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So thank you for the speech from Mr. Yuvarj. Now I will invite my speaker. His name is called Mr. Center. So he's the president of the Flexographic Technical Association from Europe. So his topic is European packaging, circular economy, and FTA Europe. So welcome, Mr. Center.
Thank you. And good evening for you. That is a good afternoon for me here in Europe and so on. Let me just to share with you the screen and let me know if it's working or not, all right? Okay, is it sharing? You see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen very clearly.
Okay, let me just to start in 1 second and we see what's happening and so on. So my let's say approach is just to touch and to share with you and all of Platea how is the situation, and I give you one idea about the European situation. That's more or less in any case more linked with any other part of the world. There are 3 aspects that I would like to touch in this presentation. First of all, just to talk more about the packaging that, you know, anyone who is involved. Packaging is part of our life and packaging is changing with our life modification. You see already that's how is important the paper and corrugated, they are the majority share, and plastic flexible are really very, very important in terms of, you know, primary packaging with a 10% of all the 1,000 billion of euro or dollars around the world. So if you look about European, immediately you see how jumped the packaging and label compare with the magazine, book, and many other print worldwide. Another strong, let's say, point is when you see the European market in terms of technology. You see that, you know, there are a lot of technology on the market, but the Flexo was jumped in the last 25 years. That is more phenomenal. That's more, let's say, the gravure are reducing, depend of country to country. If you talk about, you know, US, there are a very small, you know, percentage of gravure. If you compare with the Asia, maybe there are more, and Europe are in the middle. When we talk about the packaging, we have to talk about, you know, global phenomenon. There are every year some new product. I'm talking about pouch, for instance, that there was an incredible approach to the market. Instead of to use, you know, the glass, especially for the young generation or baby, you prefer to give a pouch instead of a bottle of you know, glass that is, you know, much more easy to use, and you don't have any problem if to broke, you know, the bottle or something that is much more easy to for transport and so on. And another is much more easy for single. Don't remember that, you know, that we in Europe, we already define and we split. There are a lot of people retired that they want to have just a small portion of a product. So this means the packaging or the brand owner is offering a lot of things. What is a phenomenon again is the flexible, in any case, in 2021 compared with the 2020, rise at 30%, label with a 4.5, and paper corrugate was jumped because don't forget that there is another issue that in Europe, polystyrene is not anymore available or less, and the corrugate jumped. Of course, when we talk about these are volume. If we talk about let's say revenue is jumped between 2015 and 20. But as you know, 20 and 21, especially in 21, we have a lot of problem with the energy because compared to 21, 22, it jumped. Don't forget that we have one war in Europe in this moment, and this influence a lot, especially because the Europe depend for many percentage for you know, the energy from Russia, and you know exactly the situation that is involved any investment and so on in this moment. So there are quite critical situation. Substrate, you know that material was a very critical situation. So the price rise between 50 and 60, depend of course if it's paper or aluminum and so on, and the ink too. So this is something that we consider a problem because it disinfluences the hand to the let's say the margin of any company. When we talk about what the brand owner is looking for, or what the GDO that influence a lot of the market, especially with the printer, you say that they are looking to have you know, less stock, so they reduce dramatically. They want to have it just in time. So and the printer has to print more than one time the same job. It might be every 2-3 weeks. The other is something you know, as Uri mentioned before, and not only Uri, that there are some innovation came from COVID. Because, for instance, they changed some product that was not less and less touchable, or to have a more, you know, layer, or to instead of to use the layer, to use a varnish, protective varnish, panic attack for food and so on. And looking for a sustainability, of course. But what was another phenomenon here in Europe that we were used as many other countries in the world. During the COVID, we were obliged to go around our blocks, and this is influenced because, let me just to say, make an example where I live. I live in Milan. Before anyone was buying to the big supermarket or commercial center. Now the GDO, they open small shops around, very close to any quarter with any, let's say, excuse me, any blocks. And when there's more or less 300 and 400, you know, square meter of shop, but very close for where anyone lives, because the approach for 2 years, we were obliged not to go very far. So this is another phenomenon. Of course, there is a problem of price. We in this moment in Europe, we call shrinks inflation. That means it's already apparent that you go to the supermarket, you buy the same package, you buy it with the same price, but instead of 500 grams, there are 450. You know, that is another phenomenon in this moment. So psychological, the price is not improved, but the quantity of the food that you buy is less. That is something that's is happening in this moment. Of course, you know, the printer tried to improve the price, but you know, the GDO or brand owner do not set more than average 5%, but you know, the printer is more than 5% in terms of cost. The other approach that is changing is, you know, our approach to the market. You know, that's there are some words that we change, you know, scope of process we call more actual system, and the other is value, no more cost reduction, but value of generate. You know, that is another, you know, special, no more competition, but more cooperation. So there are a new way to approach some problem, and especially the brand owner does not anymore say consumer, they say user of one product. So this is something that changed. What is changed for the printer? You know, they know that they need to have a very high level of base or substrate. They know that they have to offer to the brand owner, you know, some innovation in terms of product and easy to use. We know exactly that anyone I mentioned, they reduce dramatically the print. So flexibility in terms of printer, reduce the delivery time. So just to have less short time for print, short time for make ready the press. And of course, the one really important, the goal is a fidelization, so to have a client really satisfied. The quality of the job, of course, packaging every moment is more complex. You know that the problem that we have anyone is to go inside, and we know exactly that when we buy something, emotional is one of 50% of our buy every day. Customization, of course, again, to adapt our technology capacity to produce something that is specific for the brand and so on. And the other point for the printer is repeatability. So they have to print more than one time, but the brand want to have the same quality, because when they put in the shelf, doesn't matter if one box was printed yesterday and another tomorrow or the day after, but the hand, when there are more than one print in the same shelf, the quality must be the same. No, let's say, change the packaging because after that influence the people. If one blue is less let's say, color than the other. People think that is not, they don't put in the mind is a print error. They think that it's very long time that the product is on the shelf, so it's very old. And it is not true, because it's just a print mistake. So the other is, again, essential from the marker for the, I'm talking about the printer, because, you know, they have to use more, you know, methodology, and they have to know exactly the technology that they are using, and especially to have operator with the right background. And we call not anymore a printer, but we call a process operator. We call you know, engineer operator, because now they manage the press, because the press is not anymore that in the past, it's more and more automatic. So they have some screen in front of them, and they have again the capacity to manage, and not only, there is less mechanical part, so that's important. Of course, to produce a new project, you need to know better the technology. And the other strong point is the mix technology that we think in Europe that is the future, and I have the opportunity to talk much more. Creativity, efficiency, and quality is the goal that anyone has to be as a goal. When I say before mixed technology means to use more than one technology. We have to learn from the label market, when for many years till today they are using more than one technology to print the label. But you know, the main are gravure, flexo, and offset. But today there are flexo with the gravure unit, gravure with the flexo unit, and so on, flexo with the offsetting. But again, the last can be, you know, one unit inside for variable data, for flexo and digital. And digital can be the future. But again, there are some market where the approach with digital is already take for granted. I'm talking about label. Now is going more and more in the corrugate, but they still, you know, not the winner in the flexible for several reasons. Is the future, of course, is the future. Multinational process is, as I remember you say, you know, counterfeiting, maybe with the ink invisible, just to be sure that, you know, the Brunello Montalcino that you pay 100 or 150 per bottle is really Brunello Montalcino, not only the label for Brunello Montalcino. This is something, and I'm talking about, you know, pharma. You know, Mexico has a big problem because the percentage of false medicine are very, very high. but in the future more and more with the invisible, let's call it invisible ink or many other print facility can be sure that it will be there. In terms of packaging with the variable data, you know, Coke during the Atlanta game they presented a lot of, you know, can bottle with a name, but it was just a spot. You know, the cost again, the ROI for digital against the gravure reflexo still a gap. That's why for the information that I have worldwide, I'm talking about worldwide, digital is not yet the winner technology. Don't forget that the flexo was a phenomenal, because when you talk about the new technology, the winner technology in the last 25 years in the packaging, it was flexo. So this means one important issue to take in consideration. We have a problem. We have a problem about the packaging. We produce the packaging to save for transportation, to save the product, and to maintain more quality and long life. But we know that exactly that we have to think in different way. Plastic was again one great discovery in the last 50 or 60 years. But now it seems that sometimes is not used as we think. So there are a lot of movement against plastic, but again, there are some products that are very, very innovative. Can we think, you know, I'm talking about the opportunity for some product where like this, you can open and close so you maintain the product for more long life. Today in Europe is phenomenal because anyone has in the car a small bottle of water and a day that we cannot do without that for quality of the product that you eat and of course for safety. You know, the approach with the plastic is, you know, that is the enemies of the environment and so on, is pollution and so on. But we have not to forget that the devil is not, you know, exactly what we have to think, because thanks to God that we have the plastic during the COVID, because anyone was packaged, no one bought in the pharma, you know, the food product without to package and to preserve, to maintain for long life in our freezer and so on, because we had no opportunity to go around. But what is essential is plastic cannot work. That if we have pollution inside of the ocean is because the human people put inside. So this is the approach that we have to change. We have one, let's say, David Attenborough say that in this moment, and one thing for, you know, the environment for the future of the people. He says something that I 100% agree with him. We have to think about the people in this moment and for the future of the environment. Because if you don't teach the people to use the plastic, but don't put in the river or in the ocean, that is you know, something that we cannot stop this situation. When we talk about the European legislation, we have, let's say, European community has already some law where they are talking about, you know, some rules. And we started in 2015 with some regulation, and we gave some data. For instance, in the 19, there was not an opportunity to use more, you know, some product like plastic or let's say plastic means something that was dishes or some other. So, and they say, okay, start to not to use this, but to use something that is more and more recyclable. We have some rules that where we want to achieve in 25 and 30 some level. You see, there are 65, 70, but in 20 and 21, we already achieved some goal. If you see the plastic, in 20, we were already in 50, in 20 and 21, we were in 55 in terms of recycled product. That is a huge number, but of course we have to work again. So we know exactly that what means circular economy. We teach to the student when they are at primary school already what is the concept of for our future and so on. So we have the opportunity. Many associations are working to have a better environment and to know exactly. We know that we have some product that we can immediately use, like I see in the green is immediately the opportunity to recycle. We have some product that we define yellow, where we know that more or less we can do. And there are some in red where we are working to have a better let's say, an environment approach. So I give you just a couple of numbers. This is more or less the quantity of packaging market in terms of ton. You see that the plastic is not very huge because it's just the 4 million of tons. If we compare with the all packaging that are 84 million of tons. So we have just to pay attention. There are some rules. There are some rules how to use recycling. There are some rules to redesign the product. There are some rules to design or to develop a new approach. As I said to you, we are using less and less film or support, more thin. We are using less layer, using some varnish and so on. So after the packaging, the print packaging, in the area of a converter, they try to modify the approach to have less and less material to recycle. There are some goals, there are some guidelines to achieve. There are some pilot processes. From the pilot process, we would like to have something standard in any country in Europe. Circular economy, we know exactly in which way to recycling. You know, there are mechanical recycling, there are, you know, biodegradable or compostable product with some limitation. We have a chemical recycling where we can to transform in oil or naphtha and so on. We have some other product coming using basic vegetable product like sugarcane, corn, or something. So that means we are under research every day for a new approach. You know, when you talk about the conclusion, we have a big problem, but we have the capacity to solve it if we want all together. We have, of course, to work very hard, but the challenge can be opportunity, because if we transform in the best way, you know, everything that we collect is energy, and energy is what anyone in any country is looking for. There is a paper, you know, that we can transform in Colgate. There is a plastic that we can transform and to reuse again. So we have the capacity. The important is we have to do all together. When we talk about the future, of course, in Europe, we are in this moment, we're looking for the industry 4.0, looking for the 4.5. 4.0 for us means all the equipment must be linked, and when you have your ERP, when you have your let's say system, global system in terms of information, you need to have your network inside the company, collect all the information to manage in the best way. When we talk about 5.0, we are talking about artificial intelligence for the future, but the important is you know, artificial intelligence can help us, but the people will manage. So benefit in terms of course, to use some technology to reduce some strong job, to have more efficiency, and eventually more standardization. But at the end, you need to have people very updated. So people 5.0 is the people of the future. It's the new generation coming, able to manage every type of robot or automation. We talk, talk about the future of the packaging, other opportunity. You talk about the additional. This is something that we are sure that we are not sure if it will be 2028, but there are a lot of opportunity with the flex technology to print with a special ink, some say print electronic market for seller, or print circuit in very, let's say, less cost and so on. Something is already applicable, but we are sure that, can be more and more in the future. As in the pharma or biomedical, where it might be, there are some printer with the ink with the enzyme inside, where immediately one pregnant can immediately realize if it's waiting a baby. Or if you have a scratch in your skin, there are some other products that put the color inside, you print some circuit you can achieve and you can use in the medical way, or to see exactly what is your body in that moment and so on. So there is a forecast for 300 billion. If we achieve only the 20%, is already a big goal for the print market. Couple of words about our federation. FDA is a federation because in any country in Europe we have one association, and FDA is the umbrella of all the association. Where we invest the time, we are investing in education, because of course we have a problem worldwide in the packaging area, because there are not a lot of schools that teach how to manage one flexo, how to manage one digital equipment, how to manage one gravure. So we try to have more courses that we can, and eventually to teach the teacher, to teach the offset teacher to be, gravure and flexo and digital teacher. We prepare some documentation. We have some, let's say, the diploma and master in print and material technology. And that's why we have several committees to touch this and to solve. And of course, work in a network with the other association in US, South America and other parts like Australia and so on. So talk again about the activity. We organize a conference, a seminar, forum, and every 2 years we have one, as we call European Flexo Diamond. Any year, in any country, they have their Flexo Awards, and every 2 years we have the Diamond with the best of the best. And this year, we have in Milan one exhibition where we invite you to come if you want to come. So thanks for your time, and here I am to answer to any your question.
Thank you for Mr. Santa. You help us to know a lot about the market in Europe. So that's all we also concerned. So I agree. I totally agree with one of your opinion that the digital is the future. That's really right. And also from the audience, they have some questions. The question 1. So someone says, I know you have another identity president of FTA. How do you think of the flexo printing tech in the future, especially compared with the digital printing with rapid development recently?
Yeah, I would like to touch again, just to say that if you ask to someone what is the winner technology in the last 25 years, anyone answer to you digital. This is not true. This is not false, but it's not the real true, because the flexo jumped in the last 25 years And you know, the beginning in the packaging was more, you know, the gravure, and day by day, especially with the situation of short run, the flexo was more applicable. So that means we are looking where, you know, you can print a lot of substrate, plastic and paper and corrugate. So you can print everything with the flexo with less investment and more flexibility. You know, we start with the flexo to have 4 color, 5 color. Now you can achieve 12 color without any problem when they say to you any substrate. What is again, you know, very, very important is, you know, I consider in any case mixed technology, because if you have a very long run, you have a huge market, you can use, you know, the technology of gravure. But if you have a short run, if you have to change and print as happened in Europe, might be 5, 6 jobs every let's say day, you need to have something that is very easy to manage and very, let's say, less cost in terms of general cost of the print. And I say to you, we are investing a lot to see that this type of technology can use for different, because if you talk about offset is a dot, if you talk about gravure is a cell, but if you talk about flexo can be line, and line means very easy to print, as I mentioned before, some print circuit or something that can be. So the applications are very, very huge. But the other point, very important, is mix, as I call it, multi-technology, means that if you have a flexo, you can buy one head for 1 or 2 color to have a variable data. So that means you need for, you know, something that has to change, like, you know, medicine package or something that is a must to have something with a code or something like this, you can use it. So that means, and I repeat, you know, we are investing a lot for circuit and biomedical application.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yes. So the question 2 will be,
if you talk about, sorry, Tate, just to give an idea, if you talk about the 2 technology, today we are more or less, you know, 40%, excuse me, 60%, 65 of for, you know, flexo, and the other 35, 40 for gravure. Of course, we can talk about digital again or offset, but there are, I'm talking more about the 2 main technology for eventually for flexible and so on.
Yeah. So the question 2 is, as you sharing the slides, so AI technology will be the future of industry. So how will it benefit our packaging industry specifically?
Yeah, I think that, you know, when we talk about the AI, we think that, as I mentioned before, is the future. Again, there is another point, just to come back about the future of the technology. No one can stop the train of the digital. Digital is absolutely the future. No comment about this. We don't know exactly, because, you know, I'm very, very, let's say, well known in terms of this, and it's already 25 years that I'm following day by day what's happening in the digital. But we have seen the application for ROI is not yet the best, you know, in some, I say in some market. There are some market that, you know, label, maybe someone has 1, 2, 3 digital, maybe they have 10 of traditional and so on. So again, multi-technology is the best. Again, when you talk about artificial, we are thinking that artificial will help a lot of us. There are more standardization in the future. There are, you know, again, some strong job that could be made by automation, robot, and so on. But the important is behind the artificial intelligence will be the man. No one can substitute the man. No one can substitute the experience and so on. So that means you cannot drive, you know, one Ferrari if you don't have the right background in terms of, you know, that is important. You can be the winner with the technology, and of course, especially with the print, artificial, you know, intelligent will be a benefit for to manage one equipment where you push the button and everything go without, let's say again, a printer as today that has to work a very tough job and so on. Maybe this is the future, but again, behind them, we need to have people that are able to manage this technology. So can be the artificial, someone say that artificial intelligence can be our slave for the future. I look, but behind them, we need to have someone that use the brain, because artificial intelligence is not our human brain.
Yes, and also I saw active fans from our audience. So Eric says, so are there more surface decoration process applied on flexible printing?
Could you repeat, please?
Sorry, are there more surface decoration process applied on flexible printing packaging?
Yeah, don't forget that I'm talking about you know, the printer, but with the flexo, you can there are someone that are printing wallpaper, there are textile and so on. So there are several other opportunities, of course, that can be, as we call it, maybe sometime industrial. So the only thing is, I've seen here in Europe, we try to reduce again the width of the material, just to have a less weight to transport, less problem for recycling and so on. And using, I repeat again, sometime, you know, some varnish to protect the food and so on.
Yeah, I can got it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Santa. So
thank you to everyone.
Yeah, thank you. So now I will invite my last speaker, so Mr. Zhao Zuleva. So he is the senior lecturer, Polytechnic Media Creative from Polymedia. So his topic is about packaging for small enterprise. So hi, Mr. Zhao Zuleva. Can you hear me?
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Tate. Actually, I'm Zalzuriva as a lecturer at the State Polytechnic of Creative Media, as well as I'm also a dean at the Tourism and Creative Industry Faculty at Muhammadiyah University of Tangerang. Here, I just want to talk about packaging in Indonesia, right? I'm sorry because I can't talk more longer because here in Indonesia is the fasting day, so I'm just breaking my fast. So
do you have any slides?
Yes, of course. I want Miss Vivian help me to show the Zoom. Vivian.
So let me check.
Hello. Yeah. Vivian will show the on screen, right?
You send the Vivian the slides, right?
Yeah, that's right. I've
Okay,
already sent her, right?
I will check. This one.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Vivian. Yeah. Packaging and big news and broadcasting. Okay, actually, as we know in Indonesia, yeah, my name is Alzulifa, right? Yeah, packaging for small enterprise, senior lecturer at the State Polytechnic of Creative Media, right? And I'm a doctor from State University, and now I'm also a dean at the Tourism and Creative Industry Faculty, right? Market development and raw material for the packaging industry, right? The packaging industry in Indonesia plays an important role for all industries and business in Indonesia. Therefore, the development of the packaging industry cannot be separated from the development of the national industry. In fact, the packaging has become one of the determining factors for the competitiveness of the national industry product. As you know, there are about 3.79 millions small and medium scale business in Indonesia right now, and of course they have already involved in online business. And it is about 8% totally from Indonesia, consisting of 59 and 2 million. In order to support the development of small-scale business in Indonesia, our governments, of course, now exaggeratedly encourage all the business people to use information and technology. So now it is about 8 million small and scale business in Indonesia go online. Now, right? And uh, along with the cooperations of the government and the private sector, of course, it is time for Indonesian small-scale business to transform into the digital platform, right? As you know, in Indonesia now is there are also like for the university there is only one university provided printing and packaging education sector. So uh, we want to have more than one focus of education for the next time, yeah, in order to in order to speedily up the developments of the business sector in Indonesia. As and here, you know, that there are it's about the developments of the business from plastic, paper, and printing, wood and metal. We can see that the lines is growing up, and of course, a little bit influenced by the pandemic factors in Indonesia. But you know, as an ocean country, Indonesia, of course, we are now in the process of supporting the growth of the business, especially for the printing and packaging. As you know, as at the lecture, I am supporting my student to establish, like, what do you call it, the house of packaging, house of creative industry, house of creative, and house of design. So we are now promoting that kinds of business model in every single village in Indonesia. There are about 80,000 villages in Indonesia. We have the we have the what so we call it one village one product, right? One village one product. So we try to to develop and to support the development of small scale business in every single village, from retail sector down to ceramic and raw material drawing for pharma packaging and food and beverage in is a key factors here, right? And next, as you know, right? uh, of course, packaging industry here in Indonesia, we need to focus on like uh, green packaging, small and light packaging, in collaboration with government and association for sustainability. There are 5 trends of the packaging development in Indonesia: packaging for food and beverage, yeah, right, yeah, and packaging for perma health care for business, and packaging for delivery and like Gojek, GoFood, for example, right, and others, and packaging for patient and packaging for craft. This a little bit information from Indonesia that I can say to you here. Maybe we can have a question and answer for this one, yeah. And of course, someday later we are going to have an offline meetings in one event, right? That's right. This is the forecasting for the of course, like we see here from the 2011 until 2019, right? Flat developments of the wholesale and retail sectors, and of course, from 2020 to 21 and 22, decreasing from 3.272 and 4.98. The actual, of course, declining because of the pandemic factors. Right, maybe that's all that I can say. Right, that this is the plastic that right here, the green plastic, paper and printing, of course, purple, and the ones metal for the yellow line. Yeah. At least from this graph, we can see that the flat developments of the plastic, paper and printing, and wood and metal. That of course, from 2020 until now, it is trending to be the flop, right, and also some declining. That's next. Yeah. Okay, right. Maybe the point here, of course, the retail sector down in pandemic Indonesia, right? And raw material growing for pharma packaging, right? This is the information. And food and beverage is a key sector that we can develop in Indonesia. All right, Ding Zhang. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, future perspective, right? Any forecastings and trend market development policy and regulation issued with 3 key points related to the news share: green packaging, small and light packaging, and collaboration with government and association for sustainability. Of course, the government will provide a vocational school like my polytechnic, and so there are about 26 SMK, yeah, elementary school, and one only vocational for the diploma program in Indonesia. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's all that I can say to you, right?
So thank you, Mr. Zalzuleva. So now I will check. Oh, some audience says, what are the key factors lead to a bounce for retail sectors in 2021 and 2022?
Yeah, I said that the key factors, of course, supporting from the government and collaboration. We can say it pentahelic collaboration, right? The governments, businessmen, of course, banking, and of course, community development. That is the key factors that, like I myself with my student now, try to promote small scale of creative house, and then design house, and then packaging house. We promote it to the government, especially for the village. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Mrs. Zalzuleva.
Okay, all right.
And
thank you.
And another question is about, shall we have more contents regarding small and light packaging trend in Indonesia?
Yeah, all right. more packaging trend, of course, if it is possible, right? Maybe some investors, if you might come to Indonesia, right? Because I'm also as the leader of Scout community in Indonesia, so it is possible for us to collaborate and build some kinds of uh, tourism, tourisms and creative sectors in every single village, right? It's like my motto now is, of course, one village, one Scout, and one product. Yeah, it is the trend that I'm now trying to promote to the governments and also to the private. Yeah.
Got it.
Right.
Okay, so thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Xiaozuleva. Thank you so much. Okay,
Thank
I will
you.
stop
Thank you.
sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thank you so much for all the speakers. You all give us wonderful contents. So I think our audience must have learned a lot from today's webinar. Today's webinar is just a preview for WePack 2022. The packaging and the printing show cluster, including Sino-corrugated, Sino-folding cartoon, and digital printing expo, Sino-paper, InMat, PackCon, and the Food Pack and Tech. Due to the pandemic, many of you may have difficulty coming to the site of WePack. Don't worry, we will have already planned like 7 hybrid events to help you to join the exhibition. And this year we have online exhibition, online guide tool, and target attendee program, Running Man industrial webinar, online exhibitor interview, and the exhibitor live stream. So with these 7 hybrid events, you will have the opportunity. You will have the opportunity to better understand the global packaging market, to keep abreast of the latest products and technologies, to purchase new equipment and to introduce new technologies. We will keep all of you posted the registration link to these online projects shortly. So now it's end of today's webinar. We are looking forward to meeting you in July 13 to 15. So it's end of the day. So thank you everyone due to the pandemic. Thank you. Please take care and health. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in July.
See you soon. All the best. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you, Mr. Sante.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Mr. Sante, thank you.
Yeah, see you in Indonesia, maybe.
Yeah, right.
I can, let's say, one time per year before the.
Okay, let me know when you.
I love to have the opportunity to visit your in India too. It was a great opportunity to meet people around the world and share.
Right. Okay. You may let me know when you come to Jakarta, right?
Thanks,
welcome to Shanghai.
Yeah. They will send my, let's say, contact to anyone. So you are really, I'm very pleased to meet you and share, as I consider sometimes a passion, not only our job. All right.
Yeah. All right. You might come to my. You might come to my campus, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, you're right.
Yes. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Ruraj, where are you now?
I am based out of India, Hyderabad.
Oh, right. Okay, right. Yeah. You might come to Jakarta someday, right? Let me know.
Sure. Sure. Why not?
I have a school for printing and multimedia school of vocational Indonesia, right? And also
wonderful.
I'm now building some kinds of eco park
Oh,
area,
wonderful.
right? Yeah, you might
Wonderful.
come. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Right.
That's good. So I will leave down my number there.
Okay.
Right. So
I'm breaking my fast.
oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Please carry on. Please carry on.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Take care. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.